All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping into a topic that has totally changed the game for how we handle data: cloud storage. And trust me, it's way more than just a buzzword. It's pretty much an essential tool for dealing with the massive data challenges we all face today. So, let's get right into it.
So, let me start with a question for you. Is your data outgrowing its home? I mean, whether you're running a business or even just a big personal project, you've probably felt that pinch, right? That moment where you realize, uh-oh, the servers are full, the system is getting sluggish, and we are just running out of room.
That feeling? Yeah, that's what we're calling the storage squeeze. To really get why the new solutions are so powerful, we've got to look at where the problem starts. And a lot of the time, it starts with that traditional on-premise hardware. And that brings us to the on-premise headache. This probably sounds familiar, right? It's this constant battle against physical limits. You buy servers, they fill up, and performance just tanks. And the cost. It's never just the price tag of the hardware. It's the electricity, the cooling, the people you need to pay to keep it all running. And then there's the big one: security. What happens if there's a breach, or even just a simple hard drive failure? For a lot of folks, the honest answer is a pretty scary, I don't know.
But what if there were a better way to do all this? This is where the whole story pivots. Enter the cloud. It's kind of like the hero that shows up right when you need it to solve these really specific, really frustrating storage problems.
So what exactly is cloud storage anyway? Well, at its heart, it's actually pretty simple. Instead of storing your data on your own machines in your own building, you're using a service that stores it on this huge worldwide network of servers. And those servers are owned and managed by companies that do nothing but this. The key part? You can get to your data securely from anywhere at any time as long as you can get online. Okay, so the first massive benefit: on-demand scalability. Imagine this. You need more storage, and you get it with a click of a button, not with a 6-week purchase order for new hardware. The cloud lets you scale your capacity up or down instantly. As your data grows, your storage just grows right along with it. It's seamless. The whole game of trying to guess how much space you'll need next year and then overspending on it, yeah, that's over.
The second huge win is how it completely changes your finances. We're talking about drastically reduced costs. Suddenly, you're not paying for servers, for networking gear, for power, for cooling. All that goes away. You switch from making a giant capital expense to having a predictable operational expense. And with the pay-as-you-go model, you're only paying for the storage you actually use. That's a total game changer for budgeting. But maybe the most important benefit of all is disaster recovery. I mean, think about it. Cloud providers are experts at this. They automatically copy your data across multiple different locations. So if one server fails or a whole data center gets knocked out by a storm, it doesn't matter. Your data is safe and you can get it back fast. That's a level of protection that is just incredibly expensive and complicated to build on your own.
Okay, so the idea sounds great, but the cloud isn't just one single thing. It's a whole landscape of different options, which means you have to make the right choice for what you actually need. And that's the critical next step.
You basically got two main roads. First, there's the public cloud. We're talking about the giants here, like AWS, Azure, and Google. It's super scalable, it's cost-effective, and you only pay for what you use. Then, you've got the private cloud. This is hardware that is dedicated only to your organization. It gives you way more control and security, but it also costs more, and you're the one who has to manage it. So the choice really comes down to balancing cost, how much you need to scale, and how much control you want.
But what if you kind of need both?
Well, that's where the hybrid cloud comes in. This model lets you mix and match. You can keep your super sensitive data on a lockdown private cloud, but use the cheap, scalable public cloud for everything else. It's this flexible approach that for a lot of people really is the best of both worlds.
So how do you actually pick a provider? It can seem like a lot, but if you follow this 5-step funnel, it becomes way more manageable. First, just figure out your own needs. How much data? Who needs to access it? Next, see what the providers are offering. Pay really close attention to their security and compliance certifications. Step 4 is key. How well does it integrate? Can their services talk to your systems through their APIs, their digital doorways, and their SDKs, which are basically toolkits for your developers? And finally, you got to look closely at the pricing and their SLAs, their service level agreements. Those are their written promises to you about performance.
Picking your provider is a huge step for sure. But the work is not over. The second you start integrating that service, security has to be number one on your mind. It absolutely cannot be an afterthought. It has to be built in from day one.
A really strong security plan is built on these 4 pillars. First up, data encryption. Your data has to be scrambled so it's unreadable, both when it's just sitting on a server, that's at rest, and when it's flying across the internet, that's in transit. Second, access controls. You need to be able to say exactly who gets to see and do what. Third, strong network security, things like firewalls. And finally, a solid backup and disaster recovery plan, which, as we saw, is one of the huge benefits of the cloud in the first place.
Now, within security, let's zoom in on access controls, because this is where you can get really precise. Role-based access, or RBAC, is awesome for just simplifying permissions when you have big teams. Then there's fine-grained control, which lets you protect individual files. That's a must-have for your most sensitive data. And then there's the one thing that should be totally non-negotiable for everybody: multi-factor authentication, or MFA. It is that crucial extra security layer that can stop a bad guy cold.
So when you put all of these pieces together, you pick the right model, you get the right provider, and you build a rock-solid security plan, you get to the payoff: a smarter, safer, and way more scalable way to manage your data.
And look, this isn't just the theory. The source material for this explainer highlights a case study of a real company that did this exact thing. And the results? Well, they're exactly what we've been talking about. They boosted their data security through encryption and better controls. They got the power to scale whenever they needed to. And they slashed their costs by ditching all that expensive in-house equipment. This is the real-world impact.
And the source material really just hits the nail on the head with this quote. Understanding the specific needs and requirements of your IT solutions is paramount to successful integration. What does that really mean? It means success isn't just about yelling, "We're moving to the cloud." It's about a careful plan that's built around what you specifically need.
All right, so let's boil all this down. What are your key takeaways? First, cloud storage is a direct solution to the big problems of cost, scale, and safety. Second, picking the right model, public, private, or hybrid, is the single most important first step. Third, security is not optional. It's got to be built on those 4 pillars. And finally, remember that getting there is just the beginning. The real win is having a flexible, resilient data strategy for the long haul. And that brings us to the end. I'm just going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. We know for a fact your data is growing. It's never going to stop. The only question left is your strategy growing with it? Thanks for watching.